Hello, everyone. It's not kicking over. Oops. That is not taking my screen.
I see the presentation. Do you not see it?
Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Are you seeing the presentation now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So welcome, everybody. And basically, this presentation, I like questions during the presentation, which is fine because it's a lot easier to remember them as we're going. So feel free to just chime in when you need to, but let's just go rolling on. Everyone probably has the same issue is retention fees and truck drivers coming in and making it a fun day for a lot of people. So Challenge Manufacturing, who is Challenge Manufacturing? We basically, we're a tier 1 automotive for a lot of corporations, big corporations, that we make a lot of underbelly components and parts, safety parts. We've got 11 plants nationwide. We stamp, we weld, we assemble, we send outside processor for coating, we inspect, we ship, and we actually ship out quite a many trucks daily. At plant 1 that I represent, we do about 18 to 20, but plant wide, company wide, anywhere between 150 to 250 a day. So we're quite a big operation. The one thing that we are on a regular basis dealing with is different container sizes, different pack orientations, same customer, different locations for customers, a lot of organizing, a lot of making sure things are in the right order, right place, right staging. And the last thing that would make us struggle is having to deal with docks. And so what this presentation is going over is we wanted to kind of look at our problems here. The idea that behind all this is truck drivers, they arrive, they're too soon or too late. We have specific dock times so that are you guys seeing my screen still? I'm sorry, I just got a text that would not.
We are seeing it. I'm seeing it in like the presenter mode.
Yeah, let's try this. You guys can read it though, right?
If you click into the display settings right at the top, you can swap screens. Swap presenter view.
Is that better?
That is better. Yep.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, so drivers arrive too soon or too late, which is always a problem because we have assigned route and times. So when there's a customer that picks up late, they don't get their slot. Otherwise, the other customer that was on time is going to be late as well. So we have to honor our dock times. So that was a big problem we were constantly having. Crane issues from labor perspective. When we are staged for a truck to arrive and they don't arrive, now we have to shift things around to get to the next truck. So it's constant on floor issues. Drivers were cheating a log. I don't know if any of you guys had this experience, but truck drivers will come in and they will forge what time they actually arrived or when they left, or even just scribble their name where you can't read it, or who they're from or what route they're with. And our problem was a lot of paper-based sign-ins obviously were not accurate at all. To even where customers using issue problems, reports saying, hey, you guys are holding our truck up, and we would go to our paper log to see what's going on, and it just anyone was cheating the numbers. So it was very hard for us to really prove a point that we were holding trucks too long. We couldn't prove the data, and that it wasn't our fault most of the time. There was times that we could, but most of the time it was hard to really back it up with the paper system. And then basically, I mean, we're in the 21st century and we're still working with paper and photographs and timestamps and emails. I mean, it was time to move to something different. So yeah, like I said, the 21st century, we wanted a better way to manage the dock. We wanted something digital, intuitive, and easy to use and learn. We didn't want something to manage that was going to be complicated or something that was going to take a whole nother training lesson for everyone to constantly have to figure out, oh, what do I do here? We just wanted something simple and easy for all users to use. So, I mean, that's just something we're faced. My job here is when there's an issue, you got to figure out a way to solve it and make it better for everyone. So one of my colleagues actually was hearing Jason from Sella give a presentation, and it ended up being exactly the fit that we were looking for. What we came up with was a Sella driver sign-in. This is kind of like a quick little display of what the driver is going to see. Basically, when they come in, it's in Spanish or in English, and it can be altered to different languages. But the driver would sign in, digitally pick its carrier, the route. And the good thing about this is you actually get to read the name because they have to type it in. So you actually get to see who you're talking and dealing with. Then at that point, the driver will get a assigned dock. That was one of the big issues we were having, is the drivers would just pull into a dock and then come check in. And then we would have to have a move because that wasn't the dock we want them in. So now they get assigned a dock, which is really good with this. But the cool thing is that when it starts. So when we have the driver sign in, once they get going, they actually get a timestamp of when they started, and then how long it took to load, and then when they leave. So that's a lot of awesome data. I'll go in here in a second for everyone involved in this. The driver's customer perspective, time management for drivers. They actually, when they started doing this, they liked it because it kind of kept them in track of how long they've been here. We haven't had any complaints from the drivers on it. They actually thought it was better because a lot of times their dispatch would tell them that they've been there too long, and they have proof now that they're not cheating themselves, because there are good drivers out there as well, don't get me wrong. And these drivers now have proof of when they're there and when they leave, digital proof. There's no more arguing on what's on the dock. They check in before they come in, zero complaints. Even when there's a problem with routes, and we have to back them up because of arriving late or whatnot, we'll still get dispatched emails saying, hey, how come you haven't loaded our driver? And we're able to show them why when they arrived. And then it's, oh, got it, done. And it's all stamped, so there's no forgery, so that makes it just a cut case. And quite frankly, everyone kind of expects to have this kind of technology in this day and age. And the cool thing is we're able to remember the driver. So when a driver first comes in to use the tablet, it takes not very long, maybe 20 seconds tops. But the next time they come in, when they put their name in, it remembers their truck, their route. It automatically does, so it reduces it down to seconds. And so now they come and check in, get their assignment, and then sign door, and they go back to their truck, pull in, and then the regular process. The cool thing about this is, from our team perspective, it's not a big footprint. It's a tablet that we put on the door or the window of the shipping clerk. So they come in, they tap in. I'm sure you guys have seen some of these logins from like hospitals or other things out there that you would check in. It's identical in that nature. It's so simple that you don't even need to know tribal knowledge and how to use it. Another thing about tribal knowledge is now the workers on the floor don't have to figure out which drawer, or what trailer, what route they're working on. Our shipping clerk actually can see the progress of where the truck's being loaded, how much is being loaded, how long it took to load, is there a delay? They can see all that information. The one thing too is we're not fumbling through paperwork constantly for this. We can have multiple trucks in the dock and know exactly where they're at, how full they are, where they're, time frame, how long it's taking. And the cool thing, it's live data. It's not a lag report, it's live data. And then, like I said, before I had Sala come take a look at this, we would have binders full of papers of just old logs, daily logs. And to go back through those daily logs to find an incident was very hard. Now with it being digital, it's just click, click there, and you know the date. You can go right to the route, the truck, who it was, what's the truck number, everything. It's all right there, right at your fingertips, which makes it so simple. The cool thing though is it's not complete yet. We still have a lot of things that we're going to add to this. One of the things that our ultimate goal is to become completely paperless. I know that when you have multiple shippers that you have to pick from and you have to go and scan the shipper and scan the part, we want this to be populated completely into the scan gun, which means when it's in the scan gun, we won't have the paper pick slips. Well, it'll be in the gun to when you start scanning the barcode, it'll actually disappear as shipped on the gun so that you only have what's left on the gun to pick for that truck, which will speed up the process drastically for everyone. ASN's automatic, you know, that would be a big time savers for a lot of people. And then not only that, how many times have people forgot to send their ASN? It would be a great thing to have to where it's automated. Direct put away is something that's coming as well. Direct put away is exactly, the gun will tell you exactly where to put it. Not only in the staging lanes, but anywhere in the warehouse. Simplify stage and load, where, you know, it's right now it's a 2-step process, and some have it configured to be a 1-step process. We're simplifying the way we're going to stage and load the guns. And I mean, I know I kind of blazed through this. I didn't get anyone asking questions through the process, but all in all, Sella offers more than just this driver's login. There's a lot of bells and whistles that need to be, you guys need to raise your hands and ask questions with that group. But with this driver login, it's not only saving us time, it's saving us money, it's saving us complaints with our customers. Our customers now see that it's that we're on spot, on target, and no longer the driver integrity or what they state is true is no longer, I don't know how to put it nicely, they believe us now because we have the data to back it up. So it's saving us a lot of problem controls that are out there based off just drivers coming in early or leaving late.
I definitely remember a lot of those driver issues from my days in manufacturing. For many years, I was over production control, and I know that those drivers, we had a loop that just went back and forth from our plant to HMA, and they were supposed to get so many loads in a day. And so if we held them at all and they started to run out of time, it became a big deal. And trying to track down whether that was at our place or something else was always very important. And you're right, reading that stuff on paper sometimes is very difficult.
Exactly right. Some routes actually have up to 10, 15 different shippers. You know, I'm fumbling through all that to find that. It's the way to go is what we're moving forward on.
We do have a couple of questions here for you that I will read off. So how do you know when the trailer hits the dock?
So right now, when the driver signs in, there's a 10-minute grace period to where when it hits the dock. What we're going to be putting on the scanners, and that's almost done, is going to be the actual dock loader will hit start when that truck hits the back door. So once it hits the back door, it'll be start, and then the timing will go when that driver actually signed in to when he backed in to how long it took to load the truck and when he was shipper complete done.
Okay. And the next question is, how do you know when a dock is empty and when a truck is in a dock? Do you have sensors of some type? So it kind of goes along with the other question, but do you have sensors integrated?
So like for us, we have 10 docks, and the 10 docks are open until they're assigned by the shipping clerk. So when that shipping clerk assigns it takes up the dock in the display. And then when the driver signs out of that route, it automatically takes it away. So now that dock will appear open for them.
Okay. How does the office know when the load is complete?
Well, traditionally the driver comes to get his paperwork, but our dock worker comes and hands in his shippers, and then the ASN will be created at that point. But the future of it will be when it's paperless, it'll be called shipper complete, will be clicked, and then all the transactions will happen automatically.
Okay. Can you email a single driver log directly from Sella to a supplier in the event of a discrepancy?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then it looks like the last question here is, do you deal with drop trailers?
At our facility, we do not, but at other plants, they do.
And they're able to use the same type of systems?
Currently at our other plant, they're not using it yet. We're
Okay.
rolling at this plant, and then it'll expand to them. But to answer your question, yes, that's an easy configuration, because it'll just be a trailer that's in that door that's assigned. And then when that trailer gets swapped out, in order to swap out, unless it's put in the same door, they would still have to come and check in and do the trailer swap. So it'd essentially be the exact same thing.
Okay. Oh, and someone got another question in here. Can you pull all logs based on a single company over a specific time period?
Yes. That's the data behind all this is you can do everything that you have issues with. I guarantee you're having the same issues we had in the past. You're able to pull specific driver name, you get route, carrier, truck number. You can pull all the reports.
Okay, and they just keep coming in. So this is a common issue that everyone can relate to. And this question says, what issues are you having currently, or did you have during startup?
So the only issues we really had were technical issues, making it read or communicate behind the scenes, which were quickly resolved. It really hasn't been any burden at all. It's integrated with Plex, and it's actually been pretty simple. The only issues we did have in the very beginning were some truck drivers who didn't necessarily want to type on a tablet. But that was quickly resolved when they realized it wasn't hard to use. We had someone show them how to use it, and then that went away quick. So really, it's been very, very simple process all the way through.
Okay, great. It looks like Danette Frazier has their hand. Oh, maybe they just took it down. Okay, because they had typed in one of the questions. So I think that is all of the questions. I believe you had a polling question. Is that correct that we wanted to ask?
I believe so.
So how often does your company have to argue with dispatch over arrival departure time? So I'll give everyone a minute to answer that question. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at those results. Oh, so once a month to 2 to 5 times per month is pretty much most people, and even 12% or 5 or more times per month, and only 12% are never. So, and maybe they just don't know because they're in a different department. But yes, I think this is a very common issue that companies have dealing with transportation. So appreciate your time, Joe, and your presentation.
Thank you, everyone. And I hope you guys look into this, because it is, once you get your hands on it, you'll see how much better, because my presentation probably wasn't the greatest, but I tell you what, the product is way better than my presentation.
Thank you for that. Okay,